Well, comprehensible horrors aren't gonna find themselves. Better get to it. Right. So last time I played, took out the Pavor Beast that was here. What is the next goal? Oh, right. Was one thing all the way over there. And a couple of other things that I've already got done that I could turn in. Let's just fuel up here, then use the giant star to fly part of the way. Can't imagine it's gonna get me very far. Don't have terribly much fuel here. See if the Tritacs have some. Vital works are done. Not making terribly much money. But at least it's positive. Right there. wonder if I should use the black hole or just follow the superhighway. By superhighway, I mean slipstream. Just follow it. It's the worst that could happen. I saw you flip red. Get over here. Let's let the Anubis do their thing. I'm not sure why they deploy all their stuff in situations like this. You're annoying, I'm gonna accidentally exit the fuel range. Should be fine. So what was I here for again? The relic artifact recovery. Don't want to go overkill. Then again, got plenty of supplies at the moment. Overkill it is. These are absolute bricks. And some topography. Apparently not much else. Synchrotron. Already had a couple of those. Pretty good amount of supplies. Probe there. Then her thing over there. that the relic I'm looking for is over this way. Bring any volatiles, so can't use the neutrino detector. Or probe. Is that the thing? It is. As you approach the relic, your sensors officer points out signs that you're not the first to visit. Outgassing and debris around the target's hull match a profile of a recent salvage operation. More like a smash and grab, growls your ops chief. Whoever got here first was not a professional, judging by the slipshod breaching guts and tangle of discarded equipment. Send out a salvage team, and they perform a sweep with cautious efficiency. Mission target is missing, but they do find something unexpected. A leaky suit, crudely bolted to a bulkhead, occupant unconscious. The victim of some punishment, evidently. They're cut free, then placed in a quarantine bulkhead while a medic attempts to revive them. The victim is thankful and eager to talk. Definitely not a pirate. Or no, wait, definitely a pirate. Much through a hollow feed as a story comes out about being left behind due to a perceived transgression, which the others got talking and decided it's just 'cause they didn't like me much that I was the one to blame. Didn't do a thing to deserve it. All your questions are answered at the cost of only breathable air, a hot meal, and a bulb of spirits. It becomes clear that these pirates knew something special was on the derelict and came here looking for it. They were also caching supplies nearby, so it's likely they'll head there before trying to sell their treasure. If your fleet travels at high speed, you might just catch the pirates before they get away. All that remains is what to be done with the unfortunate pirates who seems grateful and claims to have been wronged. Is any pirate out there really innocent? Couldn't they be a security risk? Well, either let him slowly die here in the middle of absolutely fucking nowhere, or I trust him. No in between. You know what? I've killed lots of pirates, as it is. Surely, I won't get a knife in the back for this one. I know, where are they? Over there. Oh. Time to see if it's actually gonna be time dependent or not, because I'm gonna explore the rest of this corner while I'm here. Otherwise, I'm never going to. whole lot enough in here. Just a bunch of rocks around the sun. Or star. Sun star. Just realized, got a decent amount of money. Anything I can build. Can upgrade. Some ruins. Do they have good stuff? Not really. Didn't mean to leave that. Neutron star. Gotta be some good stuff around that thing. Do not like being this far away from it. At least I got a planet between me and it. Here comes the death beam. Just slightly unnerving. Ooh, colony's bigger. Wanted light industry. Probe. Probe. And a third one. The League is fighting the Tritax again. By extension, I am too. Widespread ruins. beta core, and a bunch of domestic goods. Not the best find. Not the worst. All I'm missing is the 2 probes over there. I can live without them. Hey, there's this one too. Must be the guys I'm looking for. The comm's open, and before you stands the pirate leader. What do you want, scavenger? She says with contempt. This is our cash, and if you know what's best, you'll be burning along to find some shiny bits out elsewhere to grab at. Give the stuff or I shoot. Pirate Captain laughs heartily with unfeigned bravado. Oh, well done. I thought we were the pirates here, but no, I think it must be you. I admire your spirit, Captain. A pause for drama. May it haunt the stars only briefly. She executes a half spin, raises her arm like a conductor, and rings it down. Connection terminates. Tactical officer reports, hostiles closing, sir. And now we kill. So many combinations of stuff to destroy them with. About... we get silly with it. Really need to revamp this Aurora. The laser gimmick is, not working out. and one of the herons got slapped. They grow impatient. Last one's basically gone. Claim victory. No enemy ships managed to escape. Sensor officer reports an ejected cargo pod floating in a spray of post-battle debris contains something that matches the mission target specifications. Salvage team quickly secures the object in your hold. Let's see what the damage is. Structural damage, degraded engines. Not too bad. So around here, get the rest of this constellation done. Well, not enough in here. Oh, I know I can get close enough to the black hole to get some topography out of it, but not worth the damage. At least I don't think it is. Light industry will be done in 87 days. Instead, over there. Probe. And what's this here? Pirate raiders. All the way out here. I keep being tempted to call the Anubis class the meatball class. I just start doing that. Himself like that. It's downright impressive. Where's he going? He went ahead to cut off the retreat. Smart. probes. Scattered ruins. Somehow I already have the survey data for that one. No ruins. No reason to go. Although, maybe there's something orbiting it. Lucky me. Domain era cryosleeper Calypso. It's not really in range of anything. But I'll do the boss fight anyways. "40 deployment points. Those two should be able to handle it. Let's see if they can. Might be trouble. Tell that guy to go for the kill shot. Now they've got him. Yeah, that thing would definitely win in a 1v1 against anything I have. Unless if I got lucky with the Doom, maybe. Mention gonna finish this constellation and I'll leave the rest for later. Gonna see if I get the rest of the Galatia quest now. Or Galicia. I really need to start looking up how to pronounce things more often. Alright. Now, back to... yeah, right there. Finished the high-tech battle station. I just so happen to have enough funds to upgrade it again. Colony size increased. I can't afford to build anything, but might as well plan it out. Doesn't make terribly much money. Doesn't make sense to make commerce. No production also makes no sense, or light industry. Refining it is. Making 8 volatiles. This one's also making 8. Start by turning in this stuff. Open comms to Academician Sebastian. Captain, thank you for returning. Freezes and lowers his voice. We're returning the, researcher. Provost Baird will be very pleased. She's restarting the hyperspace, well, I shouldn't ruin it. I'm sure there'll be a proper announcement when they're all ready. After that, points excitedly at a datapad in his hand. Captain, Just got word from logistics that your crew has delivered the example of a lost technology, intact. They're going to be so excited in special collections. They never expected it to get it back. I'm glad they're happy. Glances between the two data pads he's holding, one in each hand. Seems to be getting more data pads with time. Anyway, Captain, you have no idea how worried nanotech engineering was about this, consider us for a moment, an advanced field conversion prototype. That's what it was. They'll be absolutely delighted when I let them know you found it. First though, I'll let the finance office know to release your payment. Any more jobs? Taps at one of the data pads. Let me look at what we've got lined up for you today. Oh. Puts down the data pad and looks at you confused. It's the, Provost Baird wants to speak with you, he says. Picks up the data pad again, examines it, and puts it down again. In person. As soon as possible. I guess I'll go do that. Find a junior academy agent pacing in the landing bay reception lounge. Soon as you enter, they spot you with a look of relief and walk quickly to meet you. Captain Hygeia, thank you for coming. Provost will see you immediately. If you would just follow me this way, thank you. And we follow. The junior agent leads you through a series of back hallways and secure lifts towards the administrative suite occupied by Provost Baird at the core of the station. You are led past diamond matrix windows through which you can see vistas of the curving internal canyons of Galatia Academy Station. The light dims and you approach the waiting room of the office of the Provost. It is filled with representatives of the most well-connected of the Persian sector, whose eyes focus on you, the interloper, like the beam array of a Paladin PD system. The self-assured march of the junior agent seems to project the impression that you're performing some adjutant role. Your presence is immediately ignored. Enter the inner office. Captain. Provost Anahira Baird taps something away on her desk interface and turns to address you. I'm pleased that you've come to meet with me, and for all the work you've done for my project already. She lowers her head just a degree. Didn't think I'd be wasting your time with make work, did you? She considers this for a moment. Well, there was some. Noise had to be introduced to the system to ensure that an outside observer would not immediately identify you as my agent. Which brings us to the subject I wish to discuss. Please, make yourself comfortable. Baird motions to a set of seats around a table carved from the root structure of some great tree. Hand-carved by the looks of it. The work of Ludic artisans. They do fine work, she says, whatever their misplaced devotion. She clasped her hands together, turning to business. You've proven you can be trusted, so now I ask that you take a more active role in my great work. Define this great work. Saving the Persian sector. She is content to let the words hang in the air for a moment. I don't ask that you like me, and I won't make a sanctimonious appeal to emotion. What I ask is that you recognize, rationally, that I am pursuing a course of action unburdened by factional demands. Indeed, this will be the foremost effort to ensure the survival of our civilization from utter collapse. We will not be saved by a retreat to homesteads on fragile balls of rock, nor by an arm race, which throws precious resources into the fires of interfactional squabbling. We have to reach beyond the known, develop theories that shatter all that has come before, and apply radical new technologies to ensure our survival. We must reach further and higher than the domain ever dared. As she speaks, she raises her eyes up towards some abstraction. This, you think, is something she believes in. What is my intended purpose is all this? You've proven yourself to be capable, she says. These people, she waves a hand to indicate the Galatia Academy, are very good at very specific things over which they have obsessed all their lives. But they've kept themselves too long in the ivory tower. They're soft. The world is out there. Her voice rises, and we must change it. She lowers her voice again, speaking directly to you. That is why I need you. Tell me more. Your task will not be so simple from here on out. I expect you to self-adapt to circumstances in pursuit of the objectives I lay out, and... She pauses for a moment, considering, before continuing in a tone colder than before. No matter what you have to do, as long as you pursue the mission goal, I will see that you are rewarded. Securing the future is worth everything. Alright, what do you need done? My predecessor, Provost Thomas Calicor, led a series of misguided hyperspace manipulation experiments. How to put it in layman's terms? Barrett looks troubled to have to do this, sighs, then speaks. Captain, your ships fly through hyperspace with special engines. The gate network of the domain was similar, but also very different. Calicor thought there might be a way to use starship hyperdrives to reopen the gates. Obviously, it went terribly wrong and the Galatia system was cut off from hyperspace when the jump points were disrupted beyond usability. Though we hear some Yahoo find a way to cross unstable jump points, an act well beyond irresponsible considering the chance of a cascading resonant event. I apologize. That is irrelevant. What matters is that once the mess was finally cleared up, the hegemony descended onto the Galatia Academy with a technological inspection fleet. They tore the place apart, arrested the heads of the hyperphysics department and several labs, and of course took Provost Calicor in for questioning. She turns away, and with little delay, sentencing. He was a fool and too trusting, Baird says with contempt. We lost good people and good research. Scientific breakthroughs are built on the development of theory and, yes, even negative results. I need you to recover Calicor's secret archive. We need his data from that experiment and all the others that led up to it. Hegemony will have kept it. They keep everything. Evidence, you see. She'll also need academician Scylla Cooters. She was a hyperspace physics researcher, the keystone of the theory team behind the jump point experiments. Hegemony, small-minded as they are, only arrested team leaders in the first sweep. They didn't understand that the underlying theory being tested was largely written by one particular academician who was not suitable for leadership. Needed to find her. So I have to get the archives and I have to get Celia. I think this will be the easy one. Following the aftermath of the Galatia experiment, the Hegemony technological inspectors seized everything all of our records and data. Most direct approach would involve accessing the data vaults of the Minister of Technology Standards. They're who you might call the AI inspectors, and they serve that role, among others, for the hegemony. It would not be trivial. An amused look crosses her face, but the security has been breached before. I have an old acquaintance who has been climbing the Tritachyon executive ladder. His name is Rayan Arroyo, and he is based out of Ioku Res. He may be compelled to assist us with a human asset on this front. I'll forward you the contact information. She taps for a moment on her desk interface. Let us say that Arroyo's future career opportunities are on the line, she says. Mention me to him, she says. If you are firm but discreet, I believe you will find him more than willing to assist. Got it. Compromise corporate security to advance his career over a rival. He understands the value of the deal he made with me. She almost smiles. You will find him quite cooperative once you get past his inflated sense of self-importance. And you get her job. As for the progeny of Galatia, she trails off. Is that regret? The look quickly disappears. Kuru's was always an odd fit. Brilliant, yes, but she have a way of being distracted with involvement in antagonistic subcultures. Baird waves a hand, dismissing the matter as sociological fluff. Perhaps the hegemony crackdown cured her of that childish affectation. Her family and presumably friends, wonder for a moment if Baird has any of those, are from Fickenhild in the Westernese system. You could start there. Your status in the Persian League could be useful. Officials might be willing to assist you. League intelligence apparatus might even provide assistance. She gives you a knowing look. If they think they're working for the benefit of the League, that is. Alternatively, her department was operating experimental packages in the Gamma Yabadish system. You have detected some ongoing telemetry that suggests these instruments are still in use, though it isn't clear by whom. She taps her desk interface. I've sent you the coordinates. Provost looks at you over her spectacles. How do you want to handle this, Captain? You're a diplomat or an explorer? Want to find the probes in the Gamma Yabadish system or talk your way through this unfickenhild? Well, I am part of the Persian League, so it'll probably be easier doing it that way. Not to mention not burn as much fuel. Probably. Baird nods. I thought so. There's no problem you don't believe you can talk your way through, is there? You want to change your approach, you must let me know so that I can ensure you have all the information you require. And when you do find Scylla Kuruz, I expect her to be unwilling to cooperate. I have provided you with an encrypted message. It's an, personal appeal from myself to her, she says. It should prove persuasive. I'm sure it will. Indeed, says Baird, looking at you closely. Her trepidation is a rational response to previous events. Investigations, arrest, the show trial of Calicor, but conditions have changed. She is needed if we were to escape from stagnant local maxima. Baird turns to the window. I will call. Scylla will answer, she says. A proclamation. Find the Calico Archive, find Scylla quarters. Once you have accomplished both of these missions, the project can proceed to the next phase. And that's when things get exciting. That's all for now then. She turns to her desk display and starts inputting a command sequence. Done with you for now. Good day, Captain, she says without looking up. You may check in with me via comms for additional analysis as the operation develops. Though I expect you to use your initiative. Oh, and I've reauthorized Academician Sebastian with mission assignment access for your file. Carrying out his little jobs might be a good cover for your real work, and allows us to funnel additional credits to you. Feel the subtle movement of air as the doors open silently behind you. Mirror-masked guards flank a junior agent, waits to escort you back to your shuttle. Now what about this other guy? Strange expression crosses the junior agent's face at your question, but it is instantly replaced by a return to bland pleasantness. Of course, Captain. I presume you have an appointment? Academician Elec can be busy. Send me a personal invitation. Of course, sir, the agent says. You'll come right this way. You're led through the station's primary transport hub and are soon deposited in a dirty plaza halfway around the ring of the station. Your junior agent leads you through crowds of students and past a few tight-lipped academicians who scurry by clutching datapads. Or scurry by while clutching the datapads. Junior agents fills the air with the sort of patter they must have saved for first cycle students, pointing out landmarks and remarking upon departments and figures of interest to niche fields of study. Arrive in a quiet hall off the main concourse, only a couple decks above the station rim. An open volume ringed by railings provides a dizzying view of the clouds of Pontus below you. Third door on the right, sir. The junior agent makes a tight smile, then disappears. Didn't expect there to be so much talking. Well, on my part. I just have a big sip of coffee. Alright, back to it. A man in Academician's robes is buried in a hollow display. Several moons appear to orbit his head. Might also have to increase the size of the text. Missing punctuation. What have I told you hooligans about office hours? He shouts out. They don't start until... Finally looks and realizes you aren't one of his students. Ah. He adopts a look of stern prognostication, cradling his hands together as glowing orbs circle above. I suppose greetings are in order. I am Academician Cornelius Elec, Senior Vice Chair of the Planetology Department of the Galicia Academy. And you are... Walter. We've spoken before. I returned your data core. Stares at you, a spark of recognition failing to ignite. I'm afraid I don't recall, he says. What may I ask is the purpose of your visit? Sent a message about doing a job. Oh, yes, of course. Should have simply said so. He rushes out of his holo display to pick up a datapad and places himself behind the large desk, waving you towards a chair. Unfortunately, it is occupied by a battered data core, the sort used in long-range probes. Now then, he taps at his datapad, failing to notice your obstacle. The mystery concerns a very old dataset, which has been in the Galatian Academy archives for somewhat more than 200 cycles. I stumbled upon it in the course of my studies. Well, in fact, I was discussing the old archive with a friend, a wealthy patron of the sciences. A comment they made reminded me of its existence. I decided to remain standing. As it happens, this dataset is a recording of telemetry from a domain-era sensor array out on what we now call the Fringe. It was somewhat more civilized back when this data was captured, though not perhaps by much. Chuckles softly at his wit. As for the dataset, we only really have a complete sourcing header. Our copy is mostly corrupted due to anomalous degradation during hyperwave transmissions and then over 200 cycles of low priority storage. Shakes his head with deep disappointment at the mistakes made by someone else. There's a data core in the chair. He snaps out of his reverie and looks at the chair. So it does, he says. Please don't touch it. In any event, I look crazes his hands, looking into imagined middle distance. His patron and friend offered to fund a project to recover an intact copy of the data. From the source, he smiles, quite pleased with himself. An expedition shall be made to the original sensor array. Your name came up, Captain. Fund the sensor array, extract the data. Sounds easy. When you put it like that, yes. He stands, placing his hands together behind his back, and begins pacing. I shall provide you with a scientific hardware package my students have prepared. It is far from simple, I assure you of that. Have your technicians attach it to the sensor array and it will carry out the necessary operations. That's not all, however. He pauses to look at you with a sly smile. Oh. I propose that once you acquire the data, and my algorithm extracts the targeting coordinates, you then travel to the indicated location, which lies at the heart of all this effort. Explore what is to be explored. Find what is to be found. You will bring back no mere long-range scan, but a thorough investigation. Think of the science. Think of the glory. And, he winks, you must be thinking of that vast fortune. Do believe that Director Glick, that my friend, will be more than delighted by this fait accompli. Lots of questions. I'm just gonna get to it. Excellent. I'll have the hardware package transferred to your fleet immediately. He taps at a datapad, connecting comms and reels off some imperious orders at some poor support staff. Off you go. Made the package installation idiot-proof, so I'm sure your technicians will be capable of installing it. I'm sure we can figure it out. Let's not insert in position A, try position B, and try position A again. Failing that, turn it off and on again. He turns back to his holo display and begins arranging moons again. I await your return, Captain, he says over his shoulder. And now we leave. Okay. So I have to go talk to Tritech for the archive. To go talk to the Persian League for quarters. And all the way over there, the sensor array. You have some more stuff to go explore that way. We'll do that one. Not fly directly into the sun. Star, I mean. Well, it could be a little bit before the light industry's done. Other than that, I have no reason to stick around here for too long. I'd say just now noticing the Ludic Path cells are back active. Man with a paper book. Old man sits alone at a table, leafing through what looks like a genuine hard copy paper book. As you walk by, he looks up and offers to seat across from him. See what he wants. So good to see you again. Spend a couple of minutes sharing drinks and conversing about recent going-ons in the sector. Before long, you get down to business. The historian tells you about Dealmaker holosuit would make the money go up. I guess I don't have that big of a need for money. It costs 4 story points. Got 6 of those. Tells me about something interesting but not of immediate importance. The human domain split key industries into separate worlds. Although yes, with redundancies, set well apart from one another. If one world which produced hyperdrives tried to leverage their specialization against the domain, well, what good are they without raw materials, or antimatter fuel, or indeed the basic necessities of life and access to markets? How can one rebel when the main needs only control the local gate to lay a complete siege? which one world could possibly stand against the entire domain? He gives a grim smirk. Now we're stuck here, besieged by the domain. There's no one to accept or surrender but some dead gates. Thank him for his de-information and get up to leave. See you again soon, somewhere, he says. In my line of work, even I don't know for sure where I'll end up in a couple of months. Better admin. I've already hit the maximum amount. I can't hire anymore right now anyway. Do have room for one more industry here. Already got fuel production. Already have orbital works. Guess I need transplutonics. Finding it is. All stocked up. Seven days for the industry. No traitorous paffers sitting at the bar. Haven't looked at my action allowed ships in a bit. Yeah, it's probably fine enough. Hey, pirates. The wrong place to show up to. What? I'm gonna go blow up some stuff myself. I should probably turn this off. The single dangerous thing that they had is dead. Don't see all that many eradicators, if any. Can he get him? Apparently not. Much reason to stick around. Light industry is done. Now produce a whole lot of drugs. Thing I had not considered. So maybe I already know where the Ever base is. It's all the way over there. Research station. Very cool. Although superficially intact, Silver teams soon find evidence of light weapons fire and resulting carnage. Thankfully, long desiccated, decayed, and or frozen depending on the rundown of life support in any particular sector. The seemingly random spread and directionlessness of the violence suggests that the security systems of this station turned on its occupants all at once. The catastrophic results were not helped by the unusually strong internal security measures. Hidden auto turrets set to kill, powered lockdown curtains which indiscriminately scissored obstructions, and nest of mobile suppression drones, which could traverse small conduits and air ducts to find and neutralize any survivors. Thankfully, the last of these measures has long run out of power. Despite the reactor being shut down, or being run down, and the power network itself highly degraded, your solvers are understandably paranoid. Your ops chief is more than satisfied to use their fear to emphasize the necessity of strict and systematic recovery protocols in this, and indeed every, recovery operation. Try as they might to piece something together from station logs, or logs, not longs. Remains unclear to your tech team what precisely Remains unclear to your tech team what precisely used the chief administrator's executive access codes to turn the security systems inward. Probably AI. I mean, it's gotta be, right? Medusa class. Don't quite remember what that one was. Oh, it's that one. They're not really all that amazing. Tiny shield, not much dissipation. I think it was right over here that I have to get to. Just have to traverse grid first. Rock 1 star. Nothing much of note. Survey ship and a probe. Class 4. Let's see if the flying fuck can do it on his own. should be able to. Maybe not. Send in these guys. You want to back up? Need some more help. I know it's just a ship. Probably could have saved myself a whole lot of hassle by just deploying a second Odyssey. Hypershunt tap. Miniaturized wormhole interface which can be activated to tap into a nearby coronal hypershunt, providing a colony with virtually unlimited power. Operation requires industrial quantities of transplutonics, which are at first used to open the wormhole, and then once the power drawn becomes self-sustaining, is consumed in a complicated ablative process, which maintains wormhole stability. Any interruption in supply requires a full shutdown of the tap. Increases max number of industries at a colony by 1 when demand for 10 units of transplutonics are fully met. I think I'm going to be able to make use of those. I will take it. Mining is complete. It's a lot of ore. It's going to be a problem in a bit. But for now, we ignore. Nothing but a star. Same thing here. Ooh. It's red. Sensors are having difficulty evaluating the tenuous megastructure enveloping its entire surface. Sensors officer takes the initiative and applies some exotic parameters to the interferometer feed. Inputs go green, and a few seconds later, the sub-AI tentatively identifies a stable planetary scale energy field with highly unusual properties. Explore. Automated defenses. Mop those up real quick. See how he handles this one. Not very well, apparently. Scans reveal that the energy field is not entirely uniform, perhaps owing to a running down power source. Your bridge crew is able to pick up a distress beacon transmitting from the surface. Transmission is set and repeat and garble in ways that are indicative of aging equipment. Make out enough to gather that part of a research team was stranded here, at a secret Tritachyon research facility. After the fully automated defense overweighed certain executive security contingency orders in the wake of one of the AI wars, decided it was now imperative to shoot down any craft attempting to leave the planet. Send the away team. Tiny shuttle with a jury-rigged shield generator darts through a spot failure in the shield. A landing at the primary control center is achieved without incident, and the crew is able to deactivate the shield entirely upon reaching the facility. Follow-up shuttles with heavy equipment launch quickly thereafter. Soon the salvage operation is in full swing. Retribution class battlecruiser. Ancient but unvenerated class, the Retribution is an extreme battlecruiser design which dates to the renaissance of military experimentation during the first consolidation period of the domain. It sacrifices armor for firepower and tremendous speed, not peed, for its size class, via a nearly unique implementation of Orion Drive technology, which was considered an archaic curiosity even then. And a planetary shield blueprint. An envelope of charged plasma seeded with exotic virtual particles, producing effects which disrupt the combat effectiveness of long-range bombardment, and even incursions by small vessels. Planetary shield can be continually charged and controlled by a central source, and presents a formidable obstacle to any form of ground assault. Now I completely forget if it's in the Nexarellan mod or if it's in vanilla, where if you have a shield on a planet, it makes it less accessible. It gives ×3 to ground defense strength, and a +2, which I'm assuming is for stability. Give it a test run. It's kind of expensive. No longer outright hostile with Tritag. Now I think about it, I completely blew my chance to go raid them for some blueprints. Oh well, have to do that next time. Nothing in the middle. Sensor array right over there. Again, pirates in places that, I feel like pirates should not be. But since they're here. Send in the Meatball Patrol. And a little bit of big backup. It's time. Activate kill mode. Automated defenses. Lots of small stuff. My average ship, or average Odyssey anyway, seems pretty good at taking out small stuff. I guess the real trick with that is don't get surrounded and you'll probably win anyways. Even if you do get surrounded. As long as it's not like literally 15 of them. You usually do fine. Alright. Before getting to that sensor array, I'm gonna go have a short break. Refill that coffee cup. Be right back. And I'm back. Alright, let's get this sensor hooked up. Domain era technology. This is a super high resolution passive monitoring array with a transmitter capable of real time, faster than light data transmission within the star system. It is used to supplement the regular sensor readings made by fleets. Installed hardware. Our operations chief oversees the installation with their usual methodical precision and discipline. The hardware is interfaced with a secure computing environment on your flagship, and your tech team stands by to oversee the results. Activate. The telemetry streams across space to your flagship by the flicker of the discreet little comm laser your ops team installed. Your technology officer confirms that while the data isn't perfect, it has a vastly lower corruption rate than LX copy from the Galatia Academy archive. The heck are we looking at? We have a fix on where they were looking. Tech says proudly as they transfer you the coordinates. It appeared to be a minor planet in the abyss. No star, no nebula, no primary but itself. What's so interesting about this particular rock? Well, nothing about the rock itself. The Domain Explorarium ordered a non-routine survey of the volume. Don't know what they were looking for, but the survey program found, well, it appears as though something happened, something violent. A series of high-energy events over a short period of time a little over 200 cycles ago. Starless rock is, very unlikely to produce such effects naturally. They pause, then speak tentatively. Battle, maybe? Can't say for sure. Don't know what would be worth fighting over out there, or even looking for. Only one way to find out. And it's best done with plenty of extra supplies and fuel. Every spacer knows that the abyss is not to be trifled with. Those foolish captains who attempt to find their fortune there, the few return are often starving, having to mothball ships for fuel and supplies during the long crawl back to the core worlds. Do have enough fuel to get there and back. Maybe I wouldn't. Maybe I should just explore the rest of this, go fuel up, then run back down. Might as well. Thinking, go to all these ones, loop back around, finish with these ones over here. Then jump from Blue Giant over to wherever I can get fuel, and then jump back over. Maybe it's not the abyss I'm thinking of. It's pointing to over there. Just in case I end up wasting a bunch of time. Just reload save if there's nothing. Still not entirely fond of the idea of going to the absolute middle of absolute nothing. Surely there won't be a space kraken out here. Oh boy, it's getting dark. Lead approaches the planetoid. Sensors officer runs a standard sweep. Planetoid shows signs of heavy orbital bombardment by a warship or a fleet. The report. No atmo or tectonics. Not picking up any of the usual signs of rad fallout. Looks like an old action. Very old. Sir, your sensors officer says, there's a large ship in orbit. I mean, no presumption, but I think you're going to want to get a closer look. The long-range readings are unusual. Survey. Yeah, that's just a rock. Onslaught Mark 1. Heavily battered with minimal power. Drifting through space. Instantly recognizable but somehow crudely foreign. Explore. Sensor officer becomes a preliminary high-power scan of the dark mass as your operations chief preps salver teams. Sir, this looks... There's nothing quite like this on file, but... Sensors gives up on words and puts a detailed false color scan into the primary display. Someone lets out a gasp. The database assistant algorithm won't provide a positive ID, but that form is unmistakable to the human eye. This is the Onslaught Mark 1, the ship of legend. How old must it be? Thousands of cycles? If you had been asked a shift ago, your reasonable reply would have been to call it a myth. The Onslaught Mark 1 could easily be a just-so founding narrative element of the human domain. A story about united struggle and hardship against an implacable other, with a shiny bit of military kit in center stage. An imagined avatar of the Empire's holy trinity: military, industry, gate system. Yet here that avatar appears, unbelievably far and wayward from the heart of the human domain, or even what was once the domain's frontiers 1,000 cycles ago. Your ops chief, unperturbed, looks to you for confirmation. Words are unheeded. The question is clear. Send in the salvers? Do it. Ops nods, then turns to bark commands at the salver's command frequency. Junior officers scurry to cajole crew prepping cargo. Or prepping cargo handling drones, while sensors put one analysis team on careful outward watch and another on the hulk to ensure there are no surprises. Within short minutes, the first salvers stock their open vacuum shuttle frames and utility drones at various entry points identified along the vessel's massive hull. Ops gives the go order. You notice your comms officer furiously working their interface, then turn and call a report to you. Sir, Salver 4 is picking up something on an open frequency, radio only. Very low power, some kind of an analog encoding. We did this in training. A few more taps and a message is formed from noise, letter by letter, across your display. Threat detected. What could it mean? This gives your officers pause. Ops calls a hold order while the situation is assessed. Internal self-defense systems activating. Or drone deployment? Only silence? Then, acoustics picks up a few taps as salvers secure themselves to bulkheads, powering down their tools and, no doubt, reaching for what small arms they do carry. Still, no movement. Low, steady EM activity, just a repeater, a chorus of them in fact, mechanically intoning the same message to one another. Threat detected. Fevered analysis proceeds. In the midst of what appears to be structured noise buried in an analog waveform, datasets which are insensible without context, analysis teams discover a set of coordinates, positioned at some distance from the small gravity well you're orbiting in archaic but parsable domain astrogation units. The message still repeats itself. The signal is weak, your sensors officer says. Unlikely to be picked up by anything that isn't in close order formation with the hull. Tactical telemetry to coordinate distributed systems? Cautiously, team by team, our operations chief reactivates exploration and assessment of the hulk. Bafflingly crude automation is wormed throughout the ship, whispering to itself. Interfaces are built on familiar fundamental principles, but aesthetically redshifted, seeming from an alien culture. What records remain are damaged, and they aren't missing entirely. The logs tell of aeons of war in the darkness between the stars. Human crew in and out of cryo continually diminish, replaced by the augmented wounded. When the cyborg rebuilds and then this exhaustic humming, clicking thing threaded throughout the ship. The logs are empty for long periods. Dark, hibernating leaps. Then there's a noted uptick in activity less than 200 standard cycles ago. The enemy is only identified as threat. A data store reference leads to blocks of information decayed by time, but the reconstruction algorithms leap into action and, despite troublingly low reliability ratings, sew together a set of files. Patch notes. The hardware specs are arcane, the software obtuse and plagued by null library calls. The common language of human mathematics sketches out the intent. There, your technology officer's team assembles a new spec of the sensor modifications required to detect this threat. Adapting these requirements on your relatively modern systems is far easier task than the labors described by the ancients. Receive sensor calibration data. Sir, not sure it's working. Your sensors officer speaks, standing at a control console to demonstrate a first test of the adaptations. Line after line is dumped into an output log. The characters sprout and repeat. Your technology officer's face is underlit by their glow. Threat detected. Think it's working. Their words are almost a whisper. Got a long-range hit. Sensors reports. Something is approaching our orbit. Without maneuvers, we have 1 shift, 2, half a day max. A whole lot of threat detected. Academician Elec could not have possibly known this sensor would lead to, this. Can only speculate what his patron thought they were setting you up to find, using him as a front. Might be nice to find out, if you make it out of this alive. Pointed word with Elec about the identity of his patron might be in order. Your sensors officer finally suppresses the new detector's alerts, then turns to you. The Onslaught Mark I rotates threateningly in the primary display. An avatar of ancient violence. What are the orders? Hmm. This is the venerable design, the forerunner, the progenitor, the Onslaught Mark I battleship. Its lines are strange, even atavistic, to modern eyes. It's created to serve the domain armada long ago against some existential threat long forgotten, shrouded by the mist of time and propaganda. Looking at its armaments, and most of its stuff is regular. What the heck is a standard fan brace module? I'd have to get rid of one of my ships. But I'll make it work. Serial number 2F38CB017 is now part of the fleet. Some different looking ships over there. Just because it's easy to replace. Get rid of this one. The Adjudicator. Huge, long-range flat cannon. The Adjudicator must be built into the hull of the Onslaught Mark I due to the extreme bulk of the ammunition feed and recoil system. Fills space with an astounding storm of shrapnel at great range. Any fighter, missile, or armor-stripped ship is doomed if it finds itself within this zone of death. Sounds fun. At least I don't have to worry about crewing it. It's got no shields. Just some armor. Just unfortunately compromised right now. It is also slow as hell. Might be time to get the hell out of here. Do I try to fight the threat? Yeah, probably. Let's try to open a comm link. Deluse, Scott, illicit, reificate, interdictorate, proact, unfabricate. I think there's been some kind of mistake, sir. Deniance, fraudulity, interdictorate, proact, unfabricate. Sure, this will be pleasant. Type 201 assault unit. Type 101 skirmish unit. Type 100. Type 250 overseer. Type 350 hive unit. Let's get eyes on these guys. Huh. Well, that's different. Just zap me out of P-space. I think he just did. Relationship with the threat reduced by 3. Ominous. New weapons. Fragment swarm. Swarm of threat fragments roils around the ship, providing a regenerating supply of fragments for fragment-based weapons. Base number of fragments is plus 20 per ship class size. Placement fragments are launched at whatever amount of times per second, depending on the hull size. It's required for fragment weapons to function. Hull mode is not present, or there are not enough fragments in the swarm. Fragment weapons will be disabled. Seeker fragment. Primary element carried a powerful shaped HE charge. Whether deployed from a limited mutation reserve or manufactured in situ, we cannot say. The surrounding swarm acted as a sacrificial screen to allow the primary to penetrate our point defense grid. Reach the armor belts across the 3 decks and then ... Sealed hull report to be submitted to the Director of Special Acquisitions only. This is 10 fragments per shot. Lots of range, 600 damage, counts as a missile, 1 ammo, 5 seconds to reload. Neutron torpedo. Turning results, abbreviated, true. From Special Review of Research and Development of Ultra-Dense Matter Exotic Munition Delivery System. Domain Armada Procurement, APRC-3 Proceedings, Classified Galena Historical. 1200 range, 2500 damage. Ammo limit of 2. Cost 3 points. Basically a really strong torpedo with tracking. Kinetic fragments. Several groupings of the free-swarming elements started to build up an internal charge. The EM fields nearing and even crossing the threshold of overload for various of its internal components. You can see here, plasma halo, as material is stripped from the structure. Achieving this excited state, elements then accelerated towards our shields in an attempt to produce an overload. To unfortunate effect, it must be said. See all the hollow report to be submitted to the Director of Special Acquisitions only. First fragment swarm uses 5 fragments per shot. Secondary fragments deal 100 kinetic damage per impact. This one also counts as a missile. Starting to see a trend here. And the one I didn't look at breaks the trend. Hell's own ball lightning. Some kind of self-stabilizing plasma shell containing a monopole quasi-particle. That's what the text said. Well, was as highly charged as any EMP payload I've ever encountered in combat. However, it keeps together over such long range. Hits on hull or armor generate a large number of EMP arcs. Hits on shields have a chance to generate shield-penetrating EMP arcs based on a target's art flux level. It's got a range of 800. I think I know the exact use case for these. Nothing else detected. Guess now I just try to leave. Surely nothing bad will happen. Oh boy. Slowly escaping the darkness. I think the Mark 1 is actually slowing down my whole fleet. Previously, the lowest burn level was 8. Now it's 7. Gonna have to fix that. Route being upgraded. All the other ones already have star fortresses. So just let the money roll in. Harry Raiders. All the way out here. Really should stop being surprised about that. Didn't mean to hit the turbo button, but I sure did. Maybe we give this thing a test run. See how it does before I, screw with it. Make some interesting sounds. That kid's gonna need some backup. I just I'll do it myself. Or maybe he's perfectly fine, and I jumped the gun. Oh well. What a flag. Hmm. Can't take any crew. Can take a core. See no downside. Hmm. Field modulation doesn't really do anything for it. Polarizing armor could be good. Stick. Ballistic mastery. Don't think it has many missiles. Doesn't really need the systems expertise. So, polarized and ordnance. Fully integrated too. What could go wrong? Running kinda low on fuel. We explored on one other system. A lot of stuff over there. Some extensive ruins. They have the good stuff. Quantity of ore. They do not have the good stuff. The relic. combat freighter. Scavengers that look suspiciously like pirates. Most of the shield's done. Well, it hasn't improved the stability. It sure is a big defense number. It's not just a debris pod. Oh, pirates. Any stuff here. Upon entry, your salvers discover first one, then many of the same portrait adorning the interior sections of the hab. Smashed busts lined the primary reception concourse. Above all stood a statue of the self-same likeness churned out of a simple rock foam fabricator. Polished and gilded, now lies face planted into the deck plates, the gilding half stripped. All bear the face of a strong-jawed man who looks down upon the empty halls and dead plazas of the hab. His gaze fatherly, stern and proud, and in all cases defaced, the nose smashed off, crude words painted or more often burnt across his image. Even his name, whatever it was, has been erased from every databank by a spitefully determined noise wipe virus. Exploring further, the Silver teams discovered the remains of a palace dominating an entire section of the hab. Once a vast construction, now just two blackened support legs remain amidst the rubble of its shattered visage. Parklands, now reduced to lone and level ash, follow the curve of the habitat's shell. Whoever the man was, he was first exalted, and then hated, in equal measure. And now, his drugs are my drugs. That's everything here. I'm gonna try doing a jump from here to Beta Morphigoros. I'd probably be better off going to the blue supergiant. This is a red supergiant. Yeah, I'll try going to that one. Then going over to maybe Madeira. I think they're the ones with the cheap fuel. As far as the Persian League's concerned, anyway. And back in the war with the Tritags. So it's now a size 5. Which means I can put one more thing on here. It's either refining or commerce. Probably commerce. How expensive is this gonna be? Yes. How about an actual proper loadout? Built-in expanded magazines would make these better. None of its other weapons are using or will make use of expanded magazines. I could just change things up. The only things that would really work with it is mining blasters or thumpers. I think if this thing's close enough to use thumpers, it's either already winning or already losing. Let's have the heavy ballistics integration. Got heavy machine guns. No flak. Stick some heavy machine guns. Do want to get some augmented drive field, just so it stops being so darn slow. Question is, do I build it in, or just use the 40 points for it? Building in the armored weapon mounts would be a good idea. Same thing with heavy armor. Maybe not build in that one. Don't think I need the flux distribution that much on this ship. You know, being shieldless and all. That does make me wonder. Reduces the ship's top speed by 20%. Just not terribly much. On the other hand, that's a really bad shield. So maybe not. EA built-in advanced turret gyros. Completely counters the downside to the armored weapon mounts. And the built-in bonuses are pretty nice. Yeah, I'll do that. Good. Jugman the Drayfield. See how this works. Tell if it's winning. Alright, I think I've seen enough. Don't like how it leans over to one side to use one of the assault guns. It's gonna have to change that. Wanted to put 3 heavy maulers on the front, but I don't have them at the moment. See if this does better. Definitely killing it faster than last time. Definitely starting to wonder if, maybe I should have put the expanded magazine on there. Just go all in on using these things. Too late to reverse it. So I could just grab the skill that lets me put in an extra hull mod, get the new hull mod that I want, revert the skill, then it'll ask me which one I want to keep. I'll use it like this for a while. See how it does against a fighter swarm. It should do amazing, considering its specialty. I'd say that's about what I expected. Look at this weird feeling like it could be better set up. But I'll just worry about that next time. It's gonna be it for the star sector today. We'll be playing some Underrail tonight. Unless if, like, I don't know, if people are up to do multiplayer stuff, I might do something else. But short of deviations, Underrail is the plan. Look forward to it. Anyways, I have to get going now, so thanks for watching. See ya.